I think the senior promotion seminars were very helpful in chunking the work into sizable bites, the follow-up deadlines, again for busy people, giving me a specific task that had to be done by a specific deadline was very helpful. And a few colleagues, Shirley Lee, who assists emergency physicians with their promotions process, Eric Lotofsky, my divisional director, and of course you, Marie, were very helpful in getting me through it. Thank you. Oh, and my secretary, of course, helped organize a lot of the materials. It takes a village to promote a professor.
So if you're thinking at all that you might go for promotion down the road, it's really important to actually at least put all your evaluations or your data in one spot that you can find. These days, a lot of things are sent electronically, so what you can do is create a little file and date the year and file it under that category for when you go forward. Really, some other things that are helpful when you're going forward for senior promotion is to sit down with your professional development rep. And that gives you an opportunity to sit down, go over the stuff you have. It doesn't have to be in perfect order. And it gives us a chance, as a previous professional development rep, to go over what you have, help you, guide you through the process of filling out the documents, help you focus on your actual track that you're going forward for promotion. So you can actually help focus your energies in the right way to actually maximize the success of your promotion going forward. Other advice that's helpful, people are very good at actually giving you advice. If you want to ask one or two colleagues, and they don't even have to be in your same field, say, what do you think of my stuff here? And they can give you some really good tips with regards to how you're putting it together. Another thing that's very helpful is actually to talk to the wonderful staff at DFCM who help so much with the process and say, this is what you need to do, and they give you a plan to outline for the year with regards to steps you need to get to your final destination.
I think one of the most important category of people would be those that I've called mentors. So I think it's very important to run your promotion ideas, the story of your career, past a number of different people. So for me, those people included the chief in my unit, the chair of the department, Dr. Wilson, my husband, a number of colleagues, all of whom looked at my story, the kind of story that I was presenting, and gave me different pieces of advice about it, or different slants, or what they saw as being very important. I also think it's important to talk to people at the same level of promotion that you're going for. So for me, both talking to and reviewing the promotion dossiers of full professors, particularly full professors for me in the research area, since that's the area I was concentrating on, really helped me a great deal. I can't say enough about the workshops that are run and Marie Leverman's help. I think that it's very important to attend those workshops, but actually to pay a lot of attention to what's said in the workshops, because there's a lot of detail in the workshops. I would suggest to people that they start into the process before some of the workshops so that you actually know what's involved and you have specific questions to ask, because there's a lot of detail that you have to pay attention to. So there's really, I won't say a cast of thousands, but there's a lot of people that really do, certainly that helped me in the senior promotion process, and I don't think that I would have really pulled together the dossier I did without their help.
So the advice that I'd have for people is, to the extent possible, prepare as far ahead as you possibly can, if it's a couple of years even. And what I mean by prepare is begin to think about what are the kinds of things that are going to really demonstrate impact, right? They may be things like emails from colleagues that to you might be sort of insignificant, very nice to hear, but insignificant in terms of the meaning or greater purpose. But I can tell you from personal experience that an email from a colleague in the UK was one of the key elements to my dossier. And it was an incredibly helpful piece of information to have, and it wouldn't have occurred to me at the time. So another thing that's really important, I think, is to, earlier on in the process, really commit to the 5 products and making sure that those are solid and there's agreement amongst you and the DFCM supports, that these are the 5 things that are going to best move you forward. And then really spending time thinking about the story of that particular product, or the story that weaves them together. And the amount of writing that you'll need to do to really clarify for the technical committee how this is impactful takes a ton of time. And so you really do need a number of months to do this well, and to do this in a way that reflects who you are.
My advice around preparing a dossier is the template is excellent. So don't try and reinvent the wheel. Use the template and look at the categories that are in that template, because that's where you want to fit your material. Now, finding the relevant material is where I think that I started to span out and realize, oh, all the conferences that I've spoken at, all the conferences that I've attended and been interested in, they're in my College of Family Physician main pro credit. Of course, there's your resume, which you keep up to date, but it may not be as academic. So then I'd go to teaching evaluations, go to Power, go to different places where this information is already being collected, but I had not harnessed it. I think that my advice is you actually have a lot out there, but maybe not at your fingertips. And the sooner you start to think about promotions, you should start to organize that information. In preparing your promotions application, give it time. You have to put enough dedicated, undistracted time aside. And so often we are distracted with all kinds of interruptions. What I learned is I had to put a half day, a day, a weekend. An hour wasn't enough. I had to have enough time to get into my preparations and looking for those pieces to put the story together. But go to those people who have worked with you and reflect with them on your work, and that helps you put it into perspective.